Hey, this is Childish Gambino, and this is Toasted.
This started as a joke, you making music. Is that real?
Started as a joke. I was doing it for fun. I don't know if it was ever a joke. Like I was never.
Because it's way too good to be a joke.
I I wouldn't say that. I just
Wow, say it.
I I when we started, it was just for fun. I mean, all of this is for fun. Like all of this.
If it is not a joke, right? I mean, it's way too good to be a joke.
I mean, it depends on what you think a joke is. Like jokes are like the truth. I mean, like honestly, and that sounds majorly douchey, but yeah, it's like what as a joke. It's just like in the big question of just like all isn't this all a joke? Like it's just kind of funny. So it's like I guess yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's a joke that I'm even like here and talking about an album and I put work into it and like make it like that is kind of it's funny. I was like I'm just gonna end like you're gonna end like my everyone like it's it's kind of a joke. It's kind of funny. I mean, it makes me laugh. So it did start, I guess, in a way like as something that wasn't supposed to be anything. Like all of the stuff was like wasn't supposed to be anything. I wasn't supposed to be on 30 Rock. Like I was like, this is like I didn't think I was gonna stay there.
And it ended up being amazing.
No, yeah, it ended up being more fun. Like that's things like it's just I don't think I was.
You think you're being a little too modest. Come on. I
I
mean,
don't think like
fun is okay, but this is really good stuff.
it's I don't think it's good unless it's fun. Like I think people always say like, oh, you go from job to job or like you do a bunch of stuff, but
I don't think
I'm
that's
just following the fun.
okay.
Like whatever whatever feels good and feels like an interesting thing at the time, I'm going to go with that because that's the only thing we have at the end. Like our aesthetics, like everything else is being shuffled off. Like the internet, you can buy an aesthetic if you want. So the more personal something is, the more specific it is, it becomes realer. It'll feel more real and more honest, and it's more interesting, I think, to people now because everything else can be manufactured. Like the hipster movement was manufactured like that. Like just like every other movement beforehand, you know, hippies and they all everybody has that. Yuppies, everybody. But the thing that's gonna be harder and harder to make is actual uniqueness. I mean, like it right now, like it's very manufactured, and and some people can tell, but like actual uniqueness that's actually doing good stuff
Being
is,
real.
yeah, it's gonna be harder and harder and harder to find
Why?
because it's gonna be something that can't be measured specifically. It's gonna be a taste thing.
Hey, I wrote down shitloads about your album. Songs that I really like. It starts off with the library, an intro which lasts for like 7 seconds. I expected a lot more library sounds, but no.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's just like a quick intro. It's like kind of like logging on, like log on the computer, like connection kind of thing. Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me.
To me as well. Amazing song, Crawl.
Yeah, Christian Rich, um, Christian Rich produced that with us. Like, yeah, they're really good. We thought that song's really fun to do live, which we started doing live. So like, it's like a big jump. Like the bass on it's really good.
You played the album live a couple of times, right? I mean, I saw posts of you on the net like if somebody has speakers, I'm in Philly or I'm somewhere there. Bring the speakers, I'll play the record.
Yeah,
That's
we.
awesome, man.
I mean, people are just gonna rip it anyway. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why people are acting like the music is one part of what I'm trying to do. Like, so if people get that, if people really want it and figure out a way to get it, and it's traveling, like that's only one part. Like trying to make the music the thing instead of like advertisement for the thing. It just seems silly to me. That's like I feel like people. That's like a bakery trying to sell the smell of their bread and being like, "Oh, you smelt it. Like, please give us the money for smelling that bread." Like, it's like, dude, it's out. It's out here. Everybody has it. it's advertisement for the actual. It's like it's for your T-shirt or whatever you're trying to like, or your show, your live show, like. So yeah, we try. Like I don't get it when people are like, "Don't worry, don't put the album out," because we've just been playing it for people because people like it. I like the album. I think the album's fun.
Fun? Don't you think it's awesome?
I think it's dope, but it's fun. Like it's all fun. Like there's competition between people. But it's fun. Like I'm having so much fun. I had so many fun. I met so many fun people. So many people hung out. We rented a house for like 4 months, and like a bunch of producers and friends just come over and hang out, and we would chill. And I just hate studios. So
You don't need one anymore, probably, right?
you don't need one. I don't see why. I mean, I guess some people feel better working in them, but you spend so much money, and I feel kind of weird when I'm in them. I'd much rather just, hang out at a house and, you know, get in actual fights and talk about things that make you think, and just have a bunch of that energy there. If you're living there, like you can just run in and be like, yo, we had like, some of our best songs came from bad times, or that happened in the house. So
Like what? Could you elaborate on that?
um all she needed, the worst guys on the album kind of came from Chance staying over, and then we were supposed to go to this Drake party, and then the girls there that were there were like against it, and we didn't really know why, but we really wanted to go, but they were like, we don't really want to go, so we all stayed. And then the next day, Chance was like, why did we do that? He's like, why did we listen to those girls? They're not even our friends. And it was like such a perfect. And then he came up with it. All she needed, like he was singing that the next day. But all of that just kind of came from the fact that the frustration that he was feeling, of like that moment. That's what I want to do because it's fun to make that stuff. And yeah, I think the album's good. I would listen to it, but at the end of the day, like making it was like way worth it. So I don't care if people want to not pay for to smell my album. Like there's if I did my job, they'll want to invest in. They'll want to come to the shows. They want to invest in the movement.
You were talking about the thing. Are you referring to yourself being an artist and all the stuff that you do?
Yeah. Do
Because
I
it's, I guess you do.
consider myself an artist?
No, I mean you were talking about the thing. Like this is part of what I do. This is. I mean, you do so many things. You do so many things at the same time.
I just follow what's right at the moment. Like I don't. It's just you're just hurting yourself when you're like, I'm a this, I'm a that. Unless you really are that, and that's it. And
Most people are.
I mean, I think most people are afraid. They're afraid to do. Like, I'm not saying everybody's an artist or a creative, but everybody has something that could they find joy in figuring it out, or like they find joy in the way they do it. But people gotta eat. It's scary to do that because things are hard now. Like you know, people are losing their jobs. People lost their jobs. Like I know I'm part of a group of peers who like they had no jobs. So it's harder to distinguish like really what makes you you. Like you try and do that online, with like pictures and like your Facebook and stuff like that. But it's really hard to distinguish. Really, like when you're trying to get a job, it's like why are you special? And it's like, and you're trying so hard to like show that you're special for something you really don't even really want to do. But you have to eat. Everybody's got to eat.
You definitely have a point. Hey, another thing that I hated is that I couldn't find your lyrics except for a couple of songs.
No one. I don't. Nah, I don't believe in that. I mean, Rap Genius will probably do it. RapGenius.com, and they're good. And they're good, and like the people that. But I will not write down any of them because like what you hear is what you hear.
Well, let me give you an example. I did an interview with the Beastie Boys when Paul's Boutique came out, and I was in the same situation. I didn't have any songs, like except for 3 or 4. I didn't have a clue about the samples. I didn't have a clue about the lyrics. Went into the interview. The interview was fun, but backwards, I wished I would have known the lyrics.
Really, yeah. I mean, it is. It's nice to have a little bit of play. Like I don't.
I like the lyric where you say like you're in like Rogaine or you're out like Cobain.
Yeah, Cobain, something like that.
That's cool stuff, man.
No, it's fun, but I hope
That's
it's
not even fun. That's amazing. That's really cool stuff.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's worth to know that.
it's definitely worth to know that, and if you catch it, great. But I was way more focused on this album with people just innately feeling something. A lot of things or choruses don't have words, like real words. Like Centipede was like that. Like Centipede was just me singing and then ending on Centipede.
And you refer to that in your lyrics as well.
Yeah, it's just like, all the best music is ignorant. Like,
You like what? What do you like yourself?
what do I like? Like
What's best music?
the best music is music that it just feels good. Like that Lord song just feels really good. That's all of Chief Keef. Chief Keef is like just really like you just feel it. Future's really good at that. Um, I feel like it's just stuff that it just feels like the right thing at the right time, and it's not really following that. And I didn't want to make an album that just was like, okay, here's the chorus and just the structure. And not a lot of these songs do have that structure, and they fit that because people can understand it easily. But as far as like hooks and feeling, I just tried to follow. Like 3005 was just like something that was in me, and I just sang it.
I think that's a hit song actually.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm glad you like it.
Did you realize when you wrote that actually it could be a hit?
No, I mean we just because we were singing it, and like people were remembering it around the house. Like people kept knew they remember it after hearing it one time, and then it was actually one of the last songs to be on the album because I just it wasn't gonna be on the album. I was like,
What?
yeah, I wasn't. We didn't want to put it on. I didn't want to put it on. I just thought it was like too cute. Like it felt very cute, and we couldn't. And I wanted to make it a little like darker, but then we kind of realized like the lyrics were like thoughtful enough that if you wanted to, you could enjoy that song on that level. But fam was like, that hook, you gotta like let that hook out. So we were like, yeah. Also, Hit Boy came to the house and he said he liked that hook. Like when he was like that, I was gonna sing it over in one of his songs. Actually, Drake ended up using that beat, but like I sang it over that, and then it just didn't feel right, and we just made this song around it.
You have an amazing singing voice as well.
Thank you. Is that what you call it?
Well, I mean, you have a rap voice and you have a singing voice. I mean, so your rap voice is not that good.
No, my rap voice is very high, and I don't think it's a good rap voice. Like I feel like as a characteristic that is like one of the least favorable. Like because there's slurry, like you have the charge or like a deep or something like that sounds like something, and mine just I feel like it's a little annoying, but singing, I worked really hard on this album because to honestly just relax and just sing instead of like being like hitting these notes and making it sound perfect, and I let go of that. So
What I would also like about the album is the small jokes are in there. I mean, there's phones going off. Like in a couple of songs, different ringtones. I was like checking my phone, like what's happening. I love that.
yeah, we were really into environments. I didn't want to make one. I wanted you to be a different place every time you listen to a song. So that, and there's a script that goes with the album, so I wanted to remind you where you were. Yeah.
Another song that I loved, also Telegraph Ave, a song about Oakland.
Yeah, that song is about. I mean, the character's visiting a girl in Oakland, like I did in actual real life, and yeah, it's just about Oakland. I really like that city. It's a really cool city.
You really like the girl too, probably.
No, yeah, the girl's great. She's a really good friend.
So I mean, is this about you? I guess your
The
album is
album,
about you, right?
I mean, it all came from me. It all came out of me. I feel people always like, is that you or is it not? I'm like, it came from me. So it's definitely personal. It's a very personal album. Um, but you know, everybody has a character who they are. I mean, who you are online is not really who you are. It's like you're three dimensional. Everybody is, but you know.
I was surprised actually about the reactions that you got online for posting the things you wrote down on Instagram. And I mean, like I said in the beginning, I wasn't about to talk about it, but of course your album is called Because the Internet. Um, so the thought came to me that you were probably just feeding people to react to you, or
To me, I didn't. I didn't think it would travel. I didn't think anybody would really care. Yeah, I didn't. I thought it was give people who already follow me some insight or just some understanding, and just some people would get understand things a little better. But I never thought. I thought most of it was just stuff that everybody feels. That's why I did it. Honestly, at the end, that's why I wasn't really worried because I was like, everybody feels like this. That's what I was using to explain, like, leaving community or whatever was in there. So I was like, everybody feels like this, so there'll be some connection. I didn't think people would
yeah.
think more of that, more of it than that.
And then you elaborated on Twitter, and 99% of the people didn't get it.
No,
What was that?
I don't know. People react how they react. Like that's
Yeah, people are stupid probably.
people are stupid, but like a person, like that's the thing. It's like it's harder and harder and harder to connect with a person. A bunch of people are just gonna do what's the most. They're trying to survive together like a flock. People don't listen or do things super well together. Like it's really hard. That's why people follow marching bands. That's why people like teams are crazy because you have to. There's so much to do. Like when teams are in sync, it's amazing. It's hard. But as in general, large crowds of people are not smart. It's hard. You can't be. You can't be. So, you know, I feel like person to person, you understand. You would probably understand it. But yeah, people are gonna say what they're gonna say.
Did you understand that people were worried about you being suicidal at all?
Uh, I just don't understand suicidal. Like, and I think this was taken out of context before because I said something about it before. Where I was like, suicide. Yeah, but like suicidal is like suicide is for real, and that is something that can happen. Suicidal, it's like I don't know if you can be suicide. I feel like it's like you either do it or you don't. It's not hard, And
You think it's not hard?
I mean, if you really want to, but that's the thing. Is like everybody's, you know, people, you know, that's something you can only do once. So,
If you succeed, yeah.
if you succeed, yeah, if you and you can really, if you really, really, really want to, but everybody wants to believe there's more. They want to believe there's more, but
Do you?
I feel like I wouldn't be here if I didn't. I just wouldn't be here. But we're all here because we're all genetically made from people who felt that way. Everybody was like, there's got to be more. Like, I'm descendant of everybody who was like, there's got to be more. But.
That's a beautiful thing to say, man. Hey, we only have 10 more minutes, so I gotta skip next to the back to the album. The Worst Guys, the song you already mentioned. I love the guitar solo in there.
Yeah, that's Ludwig. He's amazing. Sweden. He's a Swedish prince. He's really good at that guitar solo. hmm He was just good at it.
Brilliant, and it made me think. Like, did you sample it? Did you get it from somewhere? Did you, and did you sample at all for this album?
There were some samples from the internet.
From
There,
the net,
yeah, from the internet. Like we,
sounds or music.
videos and stuff from online that we watched while we lived in the house, and just stuff that I felt really spoke to what I was trying to say at that moment, whether they were like funny or weird. But like, there's a lot. We did a lot of samples from like
Could you point out some? Or?
um, World Star, like World Star. Like there's a World Star chants in there. Like there's actual fights and shots and people getting punched, and
No shit.
yeah, those are all real sounds. And then also on Zealots of Stockholm, there's a
That's an well experimental song to say the least.
yeah. It's weird. Like I don't feel like it's that experimental. I feel like it's just it's a texture that like people are more aware of now. And I was like, it might be cool. Like I feel like our version is like the poppiest version of that.
You did even heavier versions.
We did weirder versions, but then it just became like we were trying to like do that. I feel like it was like let's just make something that we know will be fun. And that middle part, like is really fun, but it's the poppiest version of that. Like Death Grips would blow that away, you know. But yeah,
It is like film music almost. I think.
there's a I, there's a screenplay that goes with it, so you'll be able to see it and play and read it at the same time. So it should be a soundtrack. It's a
You
soundtrack.
will release that on your website, or where can we see it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably release it for free, but I'm sure you'll be able to get it. A lot of places, probably iTunes and stuff.
Sweet. Hey, you end the album with "Please Help Me" for "Life is the Biggest Troll."
Yes, yes.
A lot of people will, of course, again refer to your problems.
Yeah, probably, or maybe not. I don't know.
Of course they will.
I mean, if they do, like,
You did that deliberately, of course.
nah. I thought. I mean that. I mean, I feel like that voice is in everybody. you know, I'm not. I feel like a lot of people think like I'm like I'm just like no. Like I'm trying to be like no. All of us. Like it's a waste of time to like try and focus on yourself when you think about how time even works. Like you're here, like you're here on the span of things happening. You're so insignificant. So of course everybody's like, help me a little bit. But there's a lot of things going on with that lyric, like that. Oh, I don't want to go into it. I don't want to explain, cause I don't want to explain art. Like that's my art, for lack of a better term, or a less douchey sounding term. Like
No, it is art, and art in a big way, I think. And I mean, especially, I thought it was really cool that a lot of people were concerned of you because of you.
I, I don't. I always wanted them to people. I don't. I honestly don't even know what I was doing.
You have a big impact on people. You know that, like you wrote down, like you had people approach you and said, well, like your music helped me through cancer, for instance.
Yeah, I've had people say that. Like it's cool. It's cool. I mean, yeah. But that like I feel like at the end of the day, like I am an entertainer. Like that's. But I feel like it's my responsibility to do more a little bit. But at the end of the day, like I'm entertaining people, and I understand that. But I feel like it. I don't want to be like the existential rapper, like or like the the universe like rapper. I don't want to be that guy. I think that's whack. But if we can slip in some like cool stuff that makes people better, that'd be great. That'd be really cool.
Well, I think you do. I mean, if I read the responses that you get, a lot of people are really in touch with your music.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's nice when people know the songs.
Hell yeah. Sweatpants, another hit song, I think.
Not. Uh, it's funny because like that's also a song that like it took a long time for me to like. I really liked the beat when it came and the raps into it, and then I kind of was like, this song is too silly. But that was like it's the only song like that on the whole album. You know. Uh, but it also it feels like you're kind of losing it, and in the script, that's what the character is kind of going through.
strikes me that you think of the beats first. I mean, I listen to it and immediately listen to the chorus and the lyrics, and in the last instance, maybe the beats.
Hmm. I feel like, you know, I feel like the beat is what really like hooks people. You know, that's really what hooks people. And that's what hooks me anyway. Like that's what keeps me coming back to certain things, even if like the lyrics aren't really hitting spot on. So I never write the lyrics first. I always feel what the song feels like first.
Does it come easy to you writing lyrics?
Sometimes not. Sometimes they're really super easy, and other times it's like really, 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 really hard. But you know, it just depends. Yeah.
Hey, where do you learn coding actually? Are you at university again?
You can like read books on it, or you can talk to people who code and like have them teach you a little bit of it. But like you know, it's really important I think for kids to start doing that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Because I mean, looking back at the whole development of coding and programming, you used to program everything when you had a computer, and right now you're just so used to downloading everything in apps and not programming anything anymore that I think it's a lost art, maybe.
It is kind of a lost art, but like,
Can you
I,
actually still do stuff with programming?
yo,
It's a really dumb question, but
no. I mean, coding is everything. Coding like with 3D printing and you know apps, like everything is coding. That's the thing. Is like everything that we're gonna be any big jumps in humanity will probably come from coding from now on. They're not gonna. It's not gonna come from, you know, a new metal. You know, unless that new metal like helps with the hard drive of this computer. Like that's everything now. So like learning how to program and code is the heart of the new world we have. So we should be learning that. Like our kids should be like understand. Like oh yeah, this is something I'm comfortable with instead of being like relying on people. You know, I feel like that's why I feel like I never understand when people are like, "Oh, I'm only good at this thing." It's like, no, if you're coding, you can make all these things. Like, I always wanted to know at least a little bit so I can handle it myself and learn on the way on, get better at everything. So you don't have to keep relying on people because most of the time, like we said, like people are gonna be doing jobs that they don't want to do anyway. So when you really find someone who's passionate with you on something, it's like gonna be twice as powerful as opposed to you kind of having to pull someone who doesn't want to be there. So like coding, it'll double, it'll like quadruple that because you'll be able to do all those things yourself. And when somebody else who else codes, like it keeps growing. We just become more powerful.
do you believe that anyone can achieve anything if they put their minds to it?
I think any like if that's what you're supposed to be doing, like if you love doing it, it yeah, I don't see there's limits on it. Like we can manipulate matter. Like we've been doing it for years and we're getting better at it every day. Like that's what we do. So if you really want to do it, you will. I think I think it's scary for people to like think like that though. You know, it's a scary thing. You know, also because there's a lot of things that are gonna tell you not to, but like you know, everybody, yeah, you can definitely do. And that sounds like really like starry and like like I don't want to, but like that, I think people are slowly realizing how much they can do as one person now. Like you can do a bunch more. Like the internet has made that possible. So yeah, I believe that.
Are you a fan of the net, actually?
Of the internet, yeah, it's my favorite place.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, it makes sense. You know, I love the internet. I think I'm afraid people would ever think that this album is an indictment in any way of the internet. I love the internet. Like, you know, yeah, I think it's a living, breathing thing, though. Like we have to understand that.
Aren't you amazed that you have 1 million followers?
No, I'm amazed that like anybody gives a fuck about any of it. Like,
Are you serious?
yeah, by any yeah, like that's followers. It doesn't mean any like. I mean, it's starting to become something. It's like you know, it's whatever value you put on it, you know. But
Well, at least 1 million people heard about you. That's something.
yeah, No, I mean it's very
They took
cool.
the time.
They took the time to find you and then follow you. You know.
Do you read what people write? I mean, do you read everything that people write? I mean, there's a lot of positive stuff there as well.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not like just read it? Like it's right there. Like of course, like that's why we're always there because it's yeah, I read them. You know, I
Do you
want.
answer people if you like a question?
I might depending on how I feel like at that moment. You know, I might answer it. Um, I I'm really thankful for the people who like who think I'm interesting enough to like devolve like give time to me because time is the most expensive thing. People don't have to spend time or attention on me because there's so many things. So I'm always very happy. That's cool. Yeah.
Thing I liked from again from your Instagram. For some reason, your Instagram is full. Your Twitter hasn't been updated since I don't know October or something. The one thing I loved was the picture of your mom, where you were in a conversation about her being a Jehovah Witness, and you stating that, well, I think I'm doing the same, and she said, well, I think different.
Yeah, yeah. She's yeah, yeah. I feel like people got like thought that she wouldn't. My mom is like my biggest fan. She loves me like regardless of like all the stuff I say and do. Like she really wants the best for me. Like so that was like that's just her sense of humor. She's like she's a smiley face. I would like I mean definitely she wants me to be right. She wants me to be like she's like yeah, but what do I? And she's like yeah, but I don't know. Like she's like I hope so.
I thought it was the sweetest thing ever.
Yeah, she really does want me to be right. Like I want me to be right. I don't want her to be sad for nothing. You know.
Are you in love?
Am I in love? With who? With
Well,
what?
a lot of people. There's a famous singer known. Rumors around you and her.
Oh, Janae.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've said before, like I definitely love her, but I don't like.
Platonic thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's not. I don't think about it in those terms. I just don't think about it in those terms. Like I always like we met and like there's definitely a connection. Like she's a really really cool person. I can honestly say I've never met someone like her. So yeah, and we just started chilling. But nah, I'm not. We're not dating. Like we're not together.
Let's get back to the album. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, I like the piano intro or the piano sounds that you probably played yourself on playing around before the party.
Yeah,
Is that really you just playing in your on the piano?
we're we're good friends. Me and Janae.
I was already at the next question, man. Skip it. It's all good.
Made me laugh because I was like, "Do I sound crazy?" I felt like
Sorry to even ask, man.
felt like I sounded crazy.
There's a lot of people want to know.
Yeah, there's nothing really there. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the song. The intro, the piano intro. To me,
Yeah.
it sounded like a day in the life of the Beatles. You know, the first chords. You know that song.
Mhm.
Any influence there at all?
Um. Nah, I'm a Beach Boys fan.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, that's where all she needed came from. Like, I don't think the Beatles are bad. They're just not one of my favorites. I like the Beach Boys. Always felt like you were a Beach Boys guy or a Beatles guy. I just felt like the Beach Boys just were like cooler to me. Just like I was like I just like that kind of feel. I understand why the Beatles are cool and like I get it. They're way like darker and like kind of stuff. But like the Beach Boys, yeah, production is dope. But the Beach Boys is just like they're kind of creepy. Like that kind of it sounds haunting, which I really fuck with. I really like that.
And you know, they got beaten up by their dad all the time
Yeah,
and was
they were
standing naked on the table, drunk.
There's just like an undertone of like, which I feel, yeah, of just like something being. I don't know if that was in it, but it definitely just sounded like haunting. Like I can hear. It feels like it's like this creepy Scooby Doo, but like perverted. Like it just sounds scarier, but in a happy way. Like to somebody who didn't, it's just like, yeah, this is really sweet. So I like them. yeah, I didn't think of the Beatles when I was doing that other one.
Hey, one more last thing. Ain't nobody sicker than my Fisker.
Yes.
Do you drive one actually?
No, no. The
They don't
character.
actually make a sound when you start one.
No, they don't. Fiskars, they're like they're electric.
They
Yeah,
are.
like that. They're either hybrid or electric. Yeah.
Because I never heard of the brand.
Yeah, they're like high end, I think, eco cars.
And again, I wish I could have read all the lyrics before we did the interview.
I'm glad you didn't, because you're not. Yeah, it's not. I would never. I'm not gonna write them down. If people write them down, what they think they are, more power to them. But like, I don't. I don't think it's a. Hopefully, it's not an album where you need to know that stuff. I don't want anybody have to like know it exactly what it is. But you remembered Oakland. You're like, oh, Oakland, like, because that's said over and over again. And it's like it should be a feeling. Yeah.
Sure did. I think you pulled off an amazing album, and you're gonna play live. I hope soon. Europe as well.
Yeah. Yeah. If we do our jobs, I hope to play here again, because we did a bunch of Europe stops last year and it was really fun. Like Berlin was
Wow.
really. No, we didn't play Berlin. I went to Berlin and did some interviewing. Berlin was cool, but I didn't play there. We played Amsterdam. We played Sweden, but like that was like an impromptu show. And then we played in London. And did we play Scotland? No, yeah, we did Glasgow Festival.
Amazing. Well, get your ass over here again soon.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks a lot, man.
Totally. No, thank you.